What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me today. I'm Carlos. I am with my buddy Dennis, and today I'm going to get to interview him. With that, welcome to Doing Life. What's going on, everybody? Today, I'm interviewing my friend Dennis. Dennis, thank you for joining me today, man. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Glad to do this with you.
Awesome, man. As you know, 2 weeks ago, you got to interview me. So now it's my turn to flip things around and ask you a couple questions so we can get to know you better. So with that said, the first question I have for you, Dennis, is I want to learn about your first ministry. Of course, we're talking about your family. So what can you tell me?
Yeah, my family. God has blessed me with a great family. I met my wife in high school. Got married very young, so at 19, and we've been married for almost 19 years now. And we have 4 wonderful children. The eldest is Khalil Marsh. Then he's 18 years old. Then I have Dennis Godfrey, who's 12, Logan Godfrey, who's 10, and Elizabeth, who is 5 years old, our only daughter. But they're a great blessing for us, and we enjoy having them.
That's awesome, and I've had the pleasure to meet at least 3 of your children, and they're amazing, man. So I want to go back, and I want to ask you a little bit about your career, your history. Tell me a little bit about your past.
Yeah, right out of high school, I joined the military. So I was 18 years old in the military, joined while I was in high school, my senior year, shipped off that summer right after that. Went off to become a Korean linguist for the Army. So I spent 20 years in the military, about 13 of it active duty, 7 of it kind of like official active duty. The rest of it I was in the Florida National Guard here in Florida. But then I got out, and in the civilian sector I support the Army still as what's called a defense contractor. So I have a job doing that, supporting training devices for the Army. So I was able to retire this last December, so 20 years of service, or did a reserve retirement, but I continued to support the military as it's very important to me. My father retired out of the military, and I have 2 brothers in the military, the Army, even currently right now.
That's awesome, man, and I'm sure you've heard it plenty, but thank you for your service, man.
No, I appreciate it.
Awesome. So, we met in church about 4 or 5 months ago. So I'm curious, tell me, did you grow up in church? Tell me a little bit about your history with church.
Yeah, I did have a pretty good church life. My father and their family were Catholic. My mother and that side was Baptist. So in my youth, I did attend Baptist church a lot with my grandparents. I lived with my grandparents for a while, so I was very active in that church, the Sunday school, church, RAs on Saturday nights, I think, is when it was kind of like a Boy Scout type group where the men would get together and teach boys about God, but we'd also go fishing or do some of those things. So that was in my early youth. Unfortunately, in maybe the high school years, I ended up actually moving out from my family and didn't live with either of my parents starting at 16, and did not attend church until later after I got married and joined the Army. Started to attend church again sporadically in my early 20s, but then I deployed to Afghanistan. And just before I went to Afghanistan, someone invited me to church and we started attending. My wife attended while I was gone, and I attended actually while I was overseas, and kind of been attending church ever since then. So that would have been in 2004. So.
That's awesome, man. So I guess my next question would be, when did you make that decision of being saved? Was that at a younger age, or was that more as an adult?
No, I definitely made the decision to follow Jesus when I was about 7 years old. And I was baptized in a little church. It was great. Right on the stage opens up, and there's like a little tub right there, and I was baptized after following Christ at that point, and did commit myself and was very committed and understood that decision. Like I said, unfortunately, I wasn't attending church and stuff in my kind of high school years, but I've always followed Jesus, believed in God, and even in discussions in the military, God comes up in politics, right? People are afraid to talk those things, but I was always in the position and arguing for Christ and the things that He's done in my life.
That's awesome, man. I know that you do several things in church. Can you tell us how you are involved in church now?
Sure. It kind of started with my wife working in kids ministry. So she started volunteering on what we call Rainbows, which is preschool. And since she was volunteering on Wednesdays, I was attending church by myself. So I was like, well, I might as well get involved also, in which I've wanted to help young boys anyway. I always thought I had a calling on my life to help young boys. So I started volunteering in the Royal Rangers program. From there, my wife ended up going on and doing more and actually becoming full-time staff at our church. And with that became more responsibility and events. And so I just started volunteering more and more and helping out in Royal Rangers, helping out like in Kids God Encounters, helping out in an event called Buddy Break, which once a month we watch special needs children so the parents can have some time. And then even in Royal Rangers kind of have carried that forward and joined what's called FCF, Frontiersman Camping Fellowship, which is an advanced Rangers. We do pre-1840s reenactment, so old school camping during the Mountain Man days and fur trapping. And I got to spend some time with Dennis. Both he did that with me, and we go out and kind of had to pass some tests to get into that. So that's what we've been doing. So I enjoy camping, but it's also a time to develop young men, and so I'm committed to that.
That's awesome, man. I think that's so important that parents do that with their children, especially involved in surroundings, you know, with other Christians. I had the pleasure to actually see some of your videos where you make different things, and that's pretty cool, man. Now I know that you're also involved in God in the 12 Steps.
Yes, I don't want to fail to mention that. Both me and my wife lead a group on Mondays, which is dedicated to people that are struggling with addictions, that are in recovery. Myself, I have worked at 12 Steps, which is common. They're similar to like Alcoholics Anonymous, but they're biblically based, and we focus on the solution, which is Jesus, a lot more than the problem of the addiction. And I went through that process. I struggled with an addiction to alcohol for a period of time, but God has delivered me from that. And so to give back and give that experience, I can relate to many of the people that are going through that. And so both me and my wife lead that group on Mondays, helping people find Jesus for breakthrough and freedom from that.
We actually had the pleasure to film together for that ministry, and it's led by some amazing people, man, that just, I don't have words to explain how good they are, man. They just been really awesome to be around and very inspiring. Is that where you started filming or dabbling into doing videos and doing things like that, or did it go back a little?
Yeah, so I started filmmaking and video making because of my children. Both Dennis and Logan wanted to be a YouTuber, so I would help them make videos, right? So we would started with Dennis and Logan both kind of making a channel, and we did video gameplay, kind of old school stuff, NES games, and then we did unboxing, Nerf gun mods, and Pokemon cards type stuff. We would unwrap Pokemon cards, and so anything that they enjoyed, I would film them and help them edit it. And similar to many other kids on the internet, so they liked that and they wanted to do it. Those were the videos they watched. So I started just to learn editing, learn how to shoot, and doing it all on a phone basically, and learning on free editing software. With that, G Sharp from God in the 12 Steps wanted to make videos to support those that may be in a moment that need some help. So we wanted to make some recovery videos, and we were pursuing a production company to make more professional videos. And I suggested that we go ahead and make some videos just for practice, to give him some time behind the camera to get used to it. And it turned out that they turned out pretty well, and it's expensive to have professional production, right? So with that, I just dug in, and I love to make things, I love to learn, and so I just decided, well, I'm just gonna figure out how to do this with what we have, right? Sometimes God, I feel, wants us to do something, and we always make excuses. Well, I just need, what about this? So I just said, well, I'll take what I got, and we'll do the best we can and learn while we go.
So that prompted you to start your own YouTube channel so that you can actually learn the process.
Yeah, to be honest, I've had a YouTube channel for a while and ran my own business and things, and so I started it, didn't really making very many videos, but I also was really into fishing, and I would make fishing videos. I took most of those down, I think, I can't remember, but I had, I would wear like a camera on my hat, and I would film and catch fish and do some things like that. So not like true editing, but I had, a Chinese GoPro knockoff kind of thing, and would do some of that again, because I didn't want to invest a lot of money into it, but I did like fishing. So I had some experience with that, but that is what really has brought me into wanting to make quality video, right? The step from just documenting home life, like home videos, right, into bringing it into more quality video.
And what's the name of your YouTube channel?
Quack This Way.
All right, cool. I'll go ahead and link that below so you guys can show them some love, check it out. Looking forward, what do you feel that God is calling you to do?
I feel that God's put a calling for me to help spread the freedom of Jesus and the love to those that are in bondage, right? Whether that be a bondage of addiction, maybe mental health issues, but also to help youth develop a relationship with Jesus. And so I do believe that He's given me a gift and a desire to use media, which is a common way, especially for youth, to interact with people. It's more on social media. People stop for pictures, people stop for videos where text kind of bypasses. So using that skill to spread my experience to others and share that with people and share Jesus is what I believe I'm called. So that is my core thing, is to utilize the skill that He's given me to share Jesus to the world and grow the kingdom.
So I know that we're going to be making more videos together on this platform and on your platform. And I'm looking forward to working with you, man. This is gonna be fun. It's gonna be a learning thing for me too. And I'm hoping that we can both grow together while we do this type of work. And hopefully we can reach somebody out there, man. And I thank you so much just for things that you've done in the past. Like I know you've encouraged me by sending me videos out of the blue at times where I've needed it. Where I felt like giving up. I've always get this video from you telling me not to give up or wishing me a happy birthday, and that really means a lot. I know I don't really get to express myself to you, but thank you, man, for doing that, man. That really means a lot. So, and moving forward, I really am looking forward to doing different projects with you, man.
Yeah, so am I. I'm looking super excited. It's glad, like you said, to have someone else that is interested in the same thing that you are, that we're able to come together and make things, that we can bounce ideas off each other and we can borrow each other's stuff, which is great.
So, again, I want to thank you for being here and hanging out with me for a couple minutes and talking. What kind of advice or what would you like to say to people out there that don't have a personal relationship with God, or that may feel that this lifestyle is not for them because they got everything figured out?
Yeah, you know, if you live long enough, you're gonna realize that you don't have everything figured out, and things are gonna happen. You don't have control. You're gonna try and control everybody else, and life will end up just becoming out of control. And so that is the point in which you can actually start, right? I think even Einstein said it. You can really start to learn when you realize and admit that you don't know everything. Youth go through, right? You know, teenagers, they think they know everything all of a sudden, even though they've only been alive for 16 years. They tell their parents that they don't know anything. And it's the same thing, right? So we come through life, we have to admit finally that we don't have control, we don't understand it, and that there is a greater power out there that can help us, right? It's just like with money or different things, you try and squeeze it, hold on, and it just slips away from you. And I kind of like your advice, you know, we talked about in the interview before, is you just have to come and you kind of truly seek with the open heart, right? As you seek God, He draws us to Him, right? That's what the Bible says. It says He draws us to Him, He picks us, right? And we will be drawn to Him. There's a hole in you that you want to fill. Maybe you don't even know how to express that there just feels like there's something missing. Some people try and fill it with ambition, going after money. They might fill it with chemicals or drinks. They might fill it with partying or friends, and they think they might even try as a man to try to fill that need with other ladies, or a man or a woman be searching after men to think that will complete them. But only God can complete us, and we find that we can become, and we will truly know who we are, as the Bible says we are, as we're creations of God. But when we come to know Jesus, we get adopted into His family. We become His children, despite having maybe bad mothers, bad fathers. We can be completed and know who we are and know that we are worthy, and that our life is, even things, if we've done things bad, even though we might have messed up things, that He calls us righteous and we become a new creation, and we can move forward with life, living for His purposes, and with that help, it is so much easier. And I'm just so grateful for the things He's done in my life. He delivered me from an addiction to alcohol, as I mentioned earlier. Just one day, literally, I mean, I was calling my wife, going like, babe, I can't even go anywhere. I'm gonna help me not go to a restaurant and drink, and just begging to Him and admitting that I needed that. To the next day, didn't drink, didn't want to drink, and it's just been it's been a great year now for me personally. It's been 1 year since I drank any alcohol, And it's just been amazing, and that desire just disappeared. And where I used to not even be able to drive down the street without pulling over to buy some
That is
alcohol.
so awesome. And you know, we read all these stories in the Bible about things that had happened in the past. And a lot of us, including myself at the beginning, would think, oh, how do we know that these stories are true? Well, that's where faith comes into place. The good thing is that when you do have faith in God, and when you do believe in Him, and when you do invite Him into your heart, He creates new stories in your personal life. He creates these new testimonies for us to share with other people, because, you know, us as humans, and we have to see to believe, you know. So when you really have faith in God, and when you really commit to Him, and when you trust Him, when you submit to Him, He changes things in your life. He shows you what He's about. And we can then take that and share it with other people. So I understand that there's people out there that don't believe in the stories of the Bible, but He's actively working in people's life. People are changing. There's amazing things happening. He's healing, and He's doing all these amazing things in families and individuals out there. So with that said, Dennis, I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. It means a lot. I want to thank you guys for joining us. Please hit like, share, comment, get involved, and check out Dennis's channel below. With that said, Dennis, thank you. God bless you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.
God bless.
And you know, just trying to give people more inspiration as to why I lost control. I don't. I was just trying to talk.
I know, it's all right.
You're gonna say something? You said okay.
I can kick in. Good.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Ah.